Hey, this is Matt once again. What about in the video? There's another paid request, this time for Brendan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, commentaries, re-reviews, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a film called The Devil's Double from 2011. Directed by Lee Tamahori, the guy who did Die Another Day and Triple X State of the Union. Now it stars a guy named Dominic Cooper. He's a guy who would be the lead in that Seth Rogen TV show Preacher, which I couldn't watch because I love the comic and hate Seth Rogen. But he was the star of that as Jesse Custer. He was also the bad guy in Dracula Untold and Need for Speed, those movies. He's actually pretty decent here in a double role as the son of Saddam Hussein and as the decoy that this Iraqi soldier was chosen to be the devil's double, to be the double for Saddam's son. And it starts in the late 80s, and it's one of those movies that at the end of the day, it will depend how interested you're in that idea to see what the deal was. To be honest, I wasn't really interested in the idea, so I didn't really get that invested in the movie. Although I can say Dominic Cooper did a good job portraying both roles to differentiate himself between the roles, where Saddam's son is very crazy and insane and sadistic and all bluster, while Latif, the name of the soldier, was much more reserved. He was sickened by the display of what was going on. He didn't agree with what was going on. He didn't want to be there, but his family was threatened. And he just hated this in and out. So they beat him. They threaten his family. Then he has to do it, so his family is safe. They give him a little bit of cosmetic surgery, and then he's just a complete copy image of the son. And you get, like I said, Dominic Cooper does a nice job. Like the Latif character, he shies away from being shown people being tortured on the VHS tape, and the son on the flip side is sadistic. It's pretty much this, you've kind of seen this before, where one person is in another person's world, and that person is seeing the sadistic side of this world. At times he's tempted by the women that are involved in there, or the riches and the cars, but realizes this is the devil he's playing with. I mean, whether it be, I don't know, that Charlie Sheen film No Man's Land, or to a much lesser extent, even like Fast and Furious or something, where, I mean, you've seen that type of stuff before. If you're wondering background noise, again, people have their radios on and such. They just want to play it out loud today. So, it's kind of just this repeat adventure of more and more crazy stuff the son does. And also hypocritical, where, this side note, they have these they hate America so much, but they have these parties where there's a lot of like music from America, like relax, relax, don't lose it, relax. But again, this was like the late 80s, going to the first Gulf War, which showcases that. And again, it's just how insane Saddam's son was. Would snatch schoolgirls and use them, and then throw their bodies into the ditch. Or his dad, Saddam's, he's mad at his dad, Saddam's bodyguard. Just, why does my dad, Saddam, take so much better care of you than he does me? And when the guy freaks out and has a AK-47 to party, Saddam's son like slices him up and even slices his belly open, and then Saddam gets pissed and beats the crap out of him and is ready to, castrate his own son for his stupidity. But like Saddam's son, like in gets with schoolgirls, and there's a wedding, and the guy rapes the bride, and then the bride kills herself, and Saddam's son just doesn't care. And then you try to have this little love triangle where Latif likes this girl who's one of the girls that's with Saddam's son. And again, the story I didn't really care about. I didn't care about hearing and seeing the stuff about that. I just, when you have a subject that you don't care about, kind of makes you go, was the story really worth telling in the first place? In my opinion, it wasn't. Maybe for some people it is. Or maybe it's a film where the concept maybe could be more intriguing than the film itself. Because the film, I did kind of just this, not circle jerk, but kind of just this, more of how Saddam's son is insane, and Latif doesn't like it, until ultimately, spoiler alert, he's had enough, he slits his wrists, they leave him at his family's door, he recuperates, Latif's father goes, you need to get out of here, don't come back. But he's also being nice to his kid, which I liked. He was a supportive father. He's like, listen, no matter what you think, I'm proud of you. Before that, there's a bit where, and throughout the film, at times, as a double, he goes out and he gets attacked. So there's about 2 or 3 scenes where he's out doing the publicity in place of the son, but then he gets attacked and has to avoid it. At one point, gets his finger messed up, and the fact is that to be a double, so if his finger's messed up, Saddam's son might have to get his finger messed up. So Saddam's son goes in and says, hey, you better fix his finger. I don't care how many people you have sick, or I will kill you. And Dominic Cooper is not bad, but that's really all I could say about it. I mean, and then dealing more spoilers, the Latif tries to kill Saddam's son, takes the girl, they leave. She's like, no, I want to go back. And he's like, they have this fight, and he's like, kind of gives up on her, like, okay, fine. Because if she ain't going to listen, nothing he can do. His father gets killed, because the father tells him, listen, no matter what you do, don't come back. I didn't mind that scene where you better do this or you're not my son. You told this son of a bitch to go to hell. I mean, that was a valiant effort from the father. And, they don't show the father dying. You get the hint, though. And it's just, you hear the phone hang up, and Dominic Cooper, as Latif, cries because he knows his father's dead. There's a nice little emotional moment. And super spoilers, what happens is that he goes in with this other guy, the husband of the bride that was raped. They shoot up, try to kill, but instead they pretty much cripple and shoot the genitals of Saddam's son. But then Latif makes it out of there. And then text goes, Latif is hard to find, even though he did interviews, so he must not be that hard to find. And the Saddam's son was crippled until he died in 2003. And the rest is history, as the text shows it. So I know I spoiled it, I warned people. It's just at the end of the day, again, I've seen this type of film before where a guy is possibly being looking at the riches and in this world of parties and the sadism of someone, and I feel like I've seen this film multiple times before. It's just a different location because it deals with Saddam's son. And it didn't feel like it went anywhere other than that. I don't know where you would have to go unless you take a lot of artistic creative differences, but like I said, it depends how curious you are about the story, or maybe about the trailer. This is a film I never heard of, and no one ever talked about. I could kind of see why. I know Brendan was a fan of it, but to me, it's cool. It's just, again, whether it be No Man's Land with Charlie Sheen or other films, I've just seen this stuff done before, and it just, the subject matter wasn't really, other than Dominic Cooper's performance, where you could, he did a nice different style depending on which role he played. But than that, yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the film. I don't think it's an awful film. It's it's serviceable. It's just I don't have a lot of like big real reaction to it either. Again, maybe it's something that was more of an interesting concept than an interesting movie. The more I think about it, but take that for what you will. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.